Welcome, my 325 subs, open-minded fans of Western wrestling, non-gatekeeping fans of Japanese wrestling, and those of you who are new to Tokyo Joshi Pro, welcome to my review of the third FUTARI Princess Max Heart Tournament semi-final show that took place on January 29. Let's begin. So before I start with the review, I'm gonna give like an intro to Tokyo Joshi Pro about how I perceive it as someone who just became a fan last year. Like, it's something I like hearing from other people as well about things I like, even if it's very disappointing. Like, even if they absolutely just shit on something I like, it's alright. You can't force someone to like what they don't, even if they should! But yeah, back to the point. For me, Tokyo Joshi Pro is this cutesy, more entertainment-based Japanese wrestling. It's kind of like DDT, their brother company, in the Wrestle Universe sphere, but with a lot less zaniness. Like, you won't find any like crazy comedy matches that inhabit the DDT lower card here, that contrast with the super serious main event scene. In here, the wrestlers are basically anime characters in their appearance, but unfortunately not in their moves. But they try. It's not a serious athletic battle, just like with Stardom and New Japan or Noah, but it's not like gimmicky, wacky entertainment just like WWE. It's something in between. While it would be nice to have some subtitles so I can follow what's going on, like just as you look at it, they sing and dance, they do poses and yell out stuff. It's kind of like an anime, and it's a bit simp-based as well. Don't you deny it, you simps? But I guess that's every form of entertainment with women in it. But yeah, they have distinct characters, very pronounced outfits. In the ring, they're a bit awkward, especially the newbies. The veterans can also be a bit botch prone as well, but from what I've seen, only in this show. Because my god, do we get one in the main event? That's so, like, clearly something wrong. But yeah, I enjoyed the product. I certainly enjoyed it more than Rampage this week. So, for the first match is Mahiru Kiryu versus Himawari. So for me, this is the equivalent of like a Young Lions match. It almost feels like it. Even if Mahiru Kiryu is like a veteran of 3 years, it's like she's on the same skill level as Himawari. They are pretty good sellers, and as a player of The Way of the Samurai 3 and 4, I appreciate the apologize gimmick that Kiryu does. They're pretty good with the chain wrestling at the start, but the strikes, it's like there's nothing behind them. And they move very awkwardly. They perform the moves without much expertise, as the women higher up in the card do. But yeah, I guess you have to start from somewhere. I think Himawari has more potential of the two, since she has this like unique, cool looking outfit, as well as she's like a lot better at executing the moves. Kiryu though was so much more awkward than her younger counterpart. Like the way she does a spine buster, not the best. So yeah, the finish is an awkward spine buster by Kiryu for the win. So I'm gonna have to give this a dark match rating. This wasn't good at all. I think these women would do better paired up against better opponents. But if paired with like people of the same level as them, we end up with something like this. And honestly, I would rather watch a Jade Cargill match from like last year. So after that, we have Mizuki versus Wakana Uehara. So they come in with bangers for themes. Like seriously, as someone who watches anime, I would unashamedly listen to these in real life without the context of the wrestling show. So Mizuki is this veteran wrestler, really good. She dresses in a similar fashion as Riho does. And when I watched her back in Cyberfight for the first time, I thought that this is how good the AEW women should be. Very smooth in the ring with some great striking that actually sounds like striking. She can high fly if she wants, and she can wrestle on the mat if she wants. So because we have this veteran in the ring, capable of carrying another person through a great match, Wakana Uehara looked really good here. There's a lot faster chain wrestling, with a lot of wristwatches. Like, this was a wristwatch battle at the start. Moves were more tight. They can do the junior exchanges really well. Like, you know, the thing that Riho does when she's like pinned down and then She sort of like limbos her way up, and the usual like juniors arm drag spots that we like. So this match follows the usual structure. It's pretty much one-sided for Mizuki, but Wakana plays an awesome underdog. She sells the shit out of Mizuki's stuff as well as her own because she gets like her ass handed to her the whole match, and then when she finally has like a sleeper hold on, she like desperately holds on to it. And then she gets her ass handed to her again. Finish is a crossface for the win, and that's number 2 spot of the match. Number 1 spot is the sleeper that Wakana just kept putting on over and over again. Mizuki won the match, but Wakana won the crowd. For me, this match was airtight, except for the part where Wakana does like some boot deflections that are weak AF, but Mizuki, God bless her heart, sells the shit out of these. So yeah, this is TV main event. I don't think they did enough to get higher than that. The match was tighter, but just not as evenly matched as you would like, that you would put it in a pay-per-view. Like if Wakana actually had a shot of winning, if she actually threatened Mizuki for like even 1 second, it could be in a pay-per-view, but maybe in the future. And yeah, this match actually shows you everything you need to know about Tokyo Joshi Pro. Like at the end, Mizuki does like the schoolyard thing of like the eye with the tongue out. A lot of cutesy stuff like that happens to please the simps. And it's actually pretty funny. And as for Wakana, bright future, she could be an ace. I even think she has like a shot at an American promotion, AEW. Since she's like a bit bigger than the other women, she's Sheeta thick, and she's pretty good in ring. And just like the projection of emotion and stuff. Using a lot of words now, but yeah, good match. So after this is a 3-way match between Haruna Neko, Raku, and Yuki Aino. So Haruna Neko is tiny. She's like kid-sized. I know like these Western wrestling commentators like to say that Japanese women look like children, but when it comes to Haruna Neko, that's pretty true. Like, she's so tiny, what the hell? Next opponent is Raku, who's a human birthday cake. And then for me, the best wrestler, as well as the best dressed person in this match, is Yuki Aino. So Raku and Neko appear to be green, but Neko is greener. But they're pretty much the same wrestler type. And 1 is okay, but 2 is too much. Like, this would have been better if it was just a 1v1. And if Aino won, because she's the only one to do the moves convincingly and with impact. The other 2 not so much. The karate chop to the head, like the brain chop, has never been good with anybody. But yeah, I was not impressed with Neko or Raku as individuals. But their tag team move was pretty sick. It's this like bulldog codebreaker combination, and this is part of the match. But then this is followed by a pretty bad spot. It's supposed to be like a double Russian leg sweep, but the connection to Ainu, the third and most like distant person from the person doing the move. Like for me, if you do a double Russian leg sweep, you should be the one in the middle. Like the tether to Ainu here is just so thin that she ain't going down to that move. She ain't gonna get leg sweep, but she does. Bad spot. This takes Ainu out of the match, and then Raku does a running neck breaker for the win. TV undercard. It's better than the first match, but just meh overall. So after this is a 6-man tag team match between Daisy Monkey, comprised of Arisu Endo and Suzume, as well as Yuki Arai, who's not in that tag team, versus Free Wi-Fi, comprising of Hikari Noa and Naokakura, with Kaya Toribami. So this is when the show started getting really good, since we finally get like 6 women who can move, who can like work like the dudes do. Especially Kaya Toribami, with the way she just like glides across the ring like it's nothing. Super athletic and moves better than I think all of the women in the company that I've seen. You could put her in a full body suit and you could mistake her for a Kaito Kiyomiya. Hell, I think she even moves better than a lot of the women in America. I wouldn't mind seeing her in AEW. Not on Dark, please. Just for like a one-off on a Rampage would be nice. Now Kakuda and Yuki Arai are the more like regular wrestlers fundamentally sound. Endo and Suzume are speedsters, and then Hikari Noa is just like flexible. But sadly, she doesn't display it much here. Okay, so this is the match in the night that has like the best tag team maneuvers. And not because it's like complex or intricate or pretty on the eyes, but it's just like this simple one where they do corner attacks and they just celebrate as they kick someone's ass. And there's this other one that I've never seen before. It's like Hikari Noa's team pulling out Endo's hair. Like, who does this? This is the future of wrestling. This is innovative shit right here. I love it, but it's not gonna make top 3 spots. What is gonna make the top 3 spots of the match, though, is Hikari Noa cutting the ring in half by, like, driving Endo's head, like, almost in line with the top rope. And I also like the tactics involved in the match. Like, they keep Suzume fresh, and then she later on ends up winning the match for them. It's stuff like this that I love from trios matches that they don't do in some of the men's promotions. Like in Noah, when they just tag in to do their stuff and then tag out. Women here gave their best effort. And I love how they don't have this mentality of like doing less and then getting paid the same. What even is that? Like how these veterans are boasting how they do like one thing that doesn't require much physical activity, gets them over, and then like they just boast this. They make it seem like they're better than other people who do a lot, just like Kenny Omega. Fucking brings it every night. Or Will Ospreay. So Yuki Arai has improved so much from when I watched her in Cyberfight. Her moves are delivered with a lot more, what's the word? Authority, impact, something like that than any of the other women. And she uses her size pretty well against the other ladies. The sharpshooter needs a bit of work, but I like it better than The Rock's and Daniel Garcia's. You know what? After watching this again, I've decided to remove the sharpshooter from top 3. I'm gonna move in the hair pull instead at number 3, and then the cutting the ring in half at number 2. The climax is where we get like a ramp up of speed, they move another gear, but the tag team moves become a little bit more complicated, like a little bit too complicated. Like, just look at this, like all to do a double drop kick, you had to do all of this elaborate stuff, and it's just confusing. And so finishing sequence, match gets good again, since Suzume finally hits her crossbody, pin breakup, both her teammates take Toribami's teammates out. Endo does a Northern Light suplex, which if you watch any of the Elite matches that I review, I fucking love the Northern Light suplex. And as for Yuki Arai, she does a full Nelson slam, which isn't done very much now. Suzume then delivers a cutter for the win. Match of the night so far. This is TV main event, pay-per-view undercard level of match. Every woman here carried her weight. No one was particularly bad. And they each had something eye-catching to contribute to the match. Trios matches should be this fun. All the time. You got 6 people in the ring. I don't want to fucking rest hold for 10 minutes. So the next match is between the team of Moka Miyamoto and Juria Nagano versus Maki Ito and Miyu Yamashita. And their team is called like 121000000. So we have a comparatively vanilla team made up of a bunch of rookies versus personality incarnate, Maki Ito, and the third best wrestler in the company, though it's interchangeable, Shoko Nakajima, Yuka Sakazaki, Miyu Yamashita. It's just that Miyu Yamashita has like a bit of stage fright when performing in front of an American crowd. So Juria and Moka are the rookie underdogs, but only when it comes to Miyu. When they're against Maki, it's a bit more even. They have a bit of a chance, but Miyu is just like on another level. Like I said, number 3 woman in the company, and I would consider her like the former ace, since she's now second fiddle to Maki Ito. But she's their best striker. It's on another level compared to everyone else. But I don't think it's as good as Kana. As for Maki, who also didn't have a well-received performance in AEW. American fans can be such shits. But she's more of an entertainer. Her moves are just a bit basic and a lot more rest-holdy. Mocha and Juria are very greenish still. They're a bit awkward while moving. Juria has better strikes while Mocha is the better seller. The match was pretty much a domination till the end when the baby faces fought back but were unable to overpower this powerhouse of a team. But yeah, for majority of the match time, the rookies got their asses kicked. The climax of the match is Mocha takes Miyu out with a leg lariat, leaving Maki and Juria in the ring. They have a cool initial strike battle where it ends with Maki going for a headbutt and then it's stopped by Juria's kick. This is cool, but it's soured by Juria going for this jutsu sort of charged up Paul Phoenix punch. I didn't like this. The Hadoken I can understand from Kenny Omega since it's basically a double palm strike. But a fucking complicated charged up punch. Terrible. I did love the question mark kick though. It's better than Sheeta's. The finish is Maki dodges a Trouble in Paradise, delivers a headbutt, Lion Tamer for the win. Top 3 spots of the match. Number 3 is the headbutt kick combo by Miyu and Maki. Number 2 is the rebound flying kick spot from Miyu. Just an awesome move. It's better than the disaster kick. A lot more happens here than there. And number 1 spot is the submission breakup spot where Miyu has to break out of her submission. She carries, I think it's Mocha, and then she rips Juria away from Maki. TV main event pay-per-view undercard, man. Really fun match, even if it's one-sided as hell. They managed to tell a David and Goliath story, even looking good in the process. Especially Juria. So yeah, this is the best match of the night so far. So after this, for the main event, it's another semi-final match between the team of Kyoraku Kyomei with Hyper Misao and Shoko Nakajima against Hakchmu. I don't really know how to say this name, but it's the team of Miyu Watanabe and Rika Tatsumi. So these 4 women, all of them, are the complete package. You have Miyu Watanabe, who's the future. You have the present with the 3 other women. I love how they started the match with Hyper Misao using cold spray. Like an underhanded thing, and it backfires. It hits poor Shoko as well. All of these women are capable of doing the juniors exchange very well. And they also know how to improvise. Or at least in the first half. Because Shoko does the Danielson moonsault off of the top top turnbuckle, over her opponent, and then she lands on her feet. But it looks like Shoko got injured. They stop for a while, and then they continue, and then her leg is being worked. And then she sells this consistently throughout the match. On defense, on offense, Shoko is good in my book. But Hyper Misao, she really made Miyu and Rika look dumb. But well, this whole spot is dumb because I hate the Alabama Slam. It's a piece of shit move and no one should do it. But instead it's done in this reverse splashing motion that Miyu does on Rika in order to slam her on Hyper Misao. But Misao just rolls too early, so early. She's way off of timing. This was the worst spot of the night I've seen. Since even seeing this happening, Miyu still goes on with the Alabama Slam, and then it just looks like she slams Rika on the floor. This tainted the match so much. And it has to be on Misao and Miyu. But mostly Misao. Teamwork here is a lot better than the last match. Despite that shit spot I just talked about, they had a giant swing dropkick spot, which was nice. It's the same one that Cesaro and Kid do. Shoko does a top rope 619 that I think looks better than what Brian Cage does. And Claudio as well. Hers just looks more convincing, and she does it on the top rope. She can do it through any of the ropes, and it looks like she's actually kicking you. The finish of the match was sick. Misao sets Tatsumi up for 619, but Shoko dives out at Miyu. It's a sort of thinking on the fly spot, and Misao does what I think Brian Cage should do instead of like a 619. Whatever this is called, it's like a double knees to the back, or you can also like ride the opponent. I forgot what that variation was called. Eye of the Hurricane by Misao, overshot senton by Shoko for the win. That was a bit bad. Like she landed on her back with no protection. That had to hurt. So this match was just like a bit more botchy than the rest, so I'm gonna give this a lower score. TV undercard, pay-per-view undercard. So nice fun minor show. That's a lot more consistent than DDT, but it doesn't reach the heights. No match really jumps out at you. It's not like the Princess Cup where we have Miyu Yamashita versus frickin' Miyu Watanabe. What a great match that was. Or Miyu Watanabe versus Shoko Nakajima. You know what? Her whole run in that tournament, it's like a star-making performance. But for this tournament, I don't think either of the two teams remaining have a snowball's chance against Heidi Howitzer and Max the Impaler. Like, who in this roster, aside from maybe Maki and Miyu, can take out these two monsters? But after just winning it last month, hell no. They might have a chance, but Maki's gonna get pinned. As for the team that eventually beats them, Miyu Watanabe and someone else, that's who it's gonna be. Miyu Watanabe as double champion. But yeah, I will review the finals as well as whatever comes out of this. Stay tuned. But yeah, like right after this, I might do Rampage on the 9th when the Stardom pay-per-view shows up at Stardom World. I'm going to review that. I'm going to do the finals to this tournament next on the 11th. And then we'll see what happens the next week. So like, comment, and subscribe for engagement. Share if you don't know me. Hit that bell notification for future videos. And please, watch my shit.